Hello everyone and welcome back to a Space Engineer Colonel Ship build and part, I have no idea, 9 or 10, I don't know. Anyway, before I start, I am really sorry for the background noises. So, in the last episode, we started working on the engineering area, which is located at the bottom of the ship. Engineering area contains 3 modules. We got the power module, or let's call it reactor modules, and then behind that we got production area, and of course the 3D printer, which we're gonna use it for 3D printing outposts. Alright, so in the last episode we worked on the power module or the reactor module, finished it, and not completely, the details still left to be done, and the lighting of course. Then I did a little bit of work on the production area, which I was not happy with at all. So in this episode, we are going to focus on the production area, and I want to create something that looks kind of complicated and crazy looking, but in reality, it's really easy to use, and I've built something like this. Here's a quick preview of it in my survival. It is like a semi-automated system, which is really easy to use, but looks kind of confusing. So I guess let's get started, shall we? So the first thing I did was to remove all these armor block on the middle section, then replace it with glass windows. Kind of try to keep the ship design language, which is glass, 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 glass everywhere. Now this bottom section is gonna be like a observation area for the passengers or the people on this ship. I think it's gonna look cool when the ship is traveling through galaxy or the universe, and just enjoy the view basically. Alright, to the production area. So first we're gonna start with the docking ports, and if I remember correctly there are around, I believe, 10 ore in this game. 10 or 11, and 2 of them I'm not really worried about, but one of them is ice and the other one is uranium. Basically we're going to have a completely separated refinery system for those 2 ore. So each one of the docking ports gonna handle only one of the resources, and of course I'm gonna use these LCD panels to mark which ore should be dumped into that docking port. Now something really important here, I'm going to use a lot of conveyor sorters. Nothing goes back, everything just moves forward, and at some point they're all gonna end up in one closed system. I'm gonna show what I mean about one closed system, basically in one closed cargo system. But for now let's do all the piping, and of course each one of these docking ports will be attached to a certain cargo container, and then we're gonna attach 3 refineries to each one of these cargo container. And it was a little bit confusing here since I had to make sure none of the cargo containers were attached to each other, so yeah, that was a little bit confusing here. And as you can see, we are doing the exact same thing to the other side, with one difference: we are going to have 3 docking ports for iron ore and a complete separate set of refineries for iron, and more piping, like a lot of piping. And there we go, we have 3 refineries for each cargo container, which means basically each ore will get 3 refineries. Hopefully we won't be running into bottlenecking, and of course I'm going to fill up all the upgrade ports. So we got 3 upgrade modules: speed, yield, and power efficiency, and we're gonna use all of them. So we will be redoing the same process for the other side, so enjoy this little bit of montage. I'll be back. So currently I'm working on setting up a completely separated refining system for iron ore. I wasn't able to find a really good place to place the refineries, so I was like, let's place them on the wall. Why the hell not? Alright, now the outputs or the ingots. We no longer need to separate them, but they should not go back. So we're gonna use again conveyor sorters, and we're gonna send them all into one set of cargo containers, and they're gonna stay in that since we're gonna use another sorter, so nothing goes back again. Alright, now that we got the refinery system down, let's work on the assembleries and let's set them up. Now, since I wasn't able to find a good place for the assemblers, I decided to just stick them to the cargo containers, and of course we're gonna attach a lot of upgrade modules. Now in here, I made a really big mistake and I forgot to attach conveyor sorters between the cargo containers and the assemblers, so I ended up removing all the cargo containers, placing down the conveyor sorters, and then replacing the cargo containers. Nothing really major, easy to fix. And of course a new set of cargo containers for dumping all the assembled components. Now this pipe and conveyor junction that you guys are seeing right now are for sending all the assembled components to the 3D printer module. course, I wasn't going to leave the production area, the production module like this, so I ended up adding some supports and ended up decorating it, adding a little bit detailed. Of course, I love doing those ribcage style design, so did the same thing here as well. Just add a little bit of protection and a little bit of details. Of course, this ship is not designed to go against other ships, and you're gonna stay away from any fight. This ship is just purely for function and just basically colonizing other planets, not going to war. Of course, you're not gonna be able to do any of the things that I said in Space Engineers, so this is just fictional in my mind. Pretty much like 90% of the ship that you see on Workshop. Oh, and I forgot to mention, more glass. We will be continuing the same design language for this area as well. Oh, and something really important, the production area won't be pressurized, but the outside of it will be. So make sure when you're going inside a production area, you have your helmets on. And that's pretty much it. At the end, I've ended up adding some catwalks to the production area, and that will give you access to some of the blocks if you want to do repairs, change some of the setting, check the settings, stuff like that, gives you that flexibility. Though we still have to do the lighting here and some minor details as well, adding some LCDs and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like. If you didn't, consider leaving a dislike. Sorry for my English, not my main language. I'm doing my best here. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, and if you have something, some kind of like a suggestion, something in your mind, please consider leaving it down in the comment section as well. Anything else I want to add? No. Again, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next Space Engineer video. Fly safe. Goodbye.